Hello, everybody, and welcome to Boundary Line Podcast with yet another episode with me, Dillon and Sheldon. And today we are going to discuss the takeaways from the first week of the IPL. Sheldon, are we ready to go?
What a crazy week it's been.
Yes, it's been a crazy first week over here at the Indian Premier League, and we've seen some exciting matches and some not so exciting matches, which we're going to come to. So let's kickstart it then. The first match was the opening game with Mumbai and CSK. So Sheldon, what do you think was the best takeaway from this match?
Oh, it was, the El Clasico of the IPL to kick it off, right? The two most prestigious teams. And it started with Mumbai off to a flyer, right? Led by Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma. The two, probably the premier openers in the IPL.
Exactly,
But then Chennai came back so strong, right, in that game, the way they came back and,
Yes, I feel the way CSK batted in that match was really good, especially with, Ambati Raidu going really good in that match. And he just put the game out of reach for Mumbai Indians. There was a slight chance there where they could come back, but then Dhoni's gamble really helped them in the end.
Oh, I think that move to send Sam Curran surprised everyone, didn't it? What a move that was. I don't think anyone would have predicted Sam Curran coming in before him and Kedar Jadhav and Jadeja. Such a big move, but it paid off.
So that game really closed out Mumbai Indians there. Heading to the second game now, it was the Kings 11 taking on the Delhi Capitals, and what was a super match there to begin the IPL. The second day itself, we got to see a super over. So, Sheldon, your thoughts on this game?
Oh, it was a crazy game. It was a game which Delhi should have lost twice. Punjab should have lost as well. It kept changing left, right. It was like a good old heavyweight boxing match.
It was a nail-biting finish, but how well did Mayank Agarwal bat?
Oh, that was fantastic. It was the first great knock, like I feel, by an Indian batsman in this tournament. Yeah. I mean, it was a superb knock from Mayank Agarwal. A lot of questions about if he could up the rate, when it kept going up. He just played a superb knock. He was so unlucky to be on the losing side, I felt.
Definitely, and that umpire's mistake also, I don't know, he said there was one short run, but replay showed that, the umpiring has been really not good. I thought Kings 11 should have closed that match there. Even if there was a one short run, when you have a batsman like Agarwal playing on the other end, you expect him to finish the game. You expect him to close the game out. Then again, Marcus Stoinis, I thought, batted really well for Delhi, and he just gave them that push, I feel like. And how often do we see Regizor Rabara doing this for he's done it numerous times for his national team, and now again, in the IPL for Delhi Capitals.
Oh, he's just fantastic, Regizor Rabara. I mean, in those death overs, I feel he's probably right up there. If you had to say like the top death bowlers in the world, easily 100%. Top three, Regizor Rabara. And when there's a super, you just give him the ball. I know there were many bowlers in that Delhi team, but straight away Rabara takes the ball, and that ball to Nicholas Pooran, one of the balls of the first week of the tournament. That Yorker is just unplayable. They've definitely been one of the surprises of the week for me. If you'd asked me before the week, I would have predicted Delhi to lose both their games. But they've really surprised me. I think Ricky Ponting as coach, they have a good Indian foundation.
Definitely. And moving on to the next match, it was a clash of the South there. It was RCB versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad. And what seemed to be a match for Sunrisers to win, it just turned out to be a batting disaster for them.
Oh, it was a gift-wrapped victory to RCB, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Sunrisers. What did they do, right? Johnny Best would just see off Chahal, see him off. Two balls left, don't do anything stupid.
Just had to play off the over, and then they just handed the game on a platter to RCB, just saying like, take 2 points and go. I thought it was more like of RCB's game to lose. Then again, Chahal, how often he does it for RCB. Kohli just hands him over the ball and he just does wonders. He's such a good bowler in these kind of games. And even with the ball being wet, he got the ball to turn, which was really good.
I think if you ask Virat Kohli, he'd want 5 Chahals in his team. Ideally, he'd want 5 Chahals in his team bowling.
But we know that's not possible. And how good was the opener for RCB there, Dev Dutt?
He impressed me a lot. And you called it, Dill, actually. You said how impressive this kid is. And boy, he just looked like a star. From the first ball he played in that game, he just looked like a star.
Really
I think for
impressed,
me, we should just put him in, starting every game. keep him long term.
Exactly. Even
This guy
though
could really be a star.
But the bowling from RCB, I would say, still needs to be worked on with Umesh going for runs in that first game.
Yeah, for sure. Umesh Yadav, I don't know what to say. I mean, how many games has he played? He's played over 100 games, and he still looks like he's in his first season.
Yeah, that's the sad part about RCB. Like, they know the weakness of the team, and they still make it, and they still leave it out there exposed, for everybody to see. Except for Chahal, they still don't look like a complete bowling unit for me. But then again, it was 2 easy points for RCB then, and they would anyways take the win, and that would give them a lot of confidence when they play Sunrisers again. But coming to the next match, it was the Rajasthan Royals taking on the Chennai Super Kings, and boy oh boy, did we see some crazy, insane hitting there, because Sanju Samson was in some murderous mood that night.
Crazy. I mean, no Butler, no Stokes, no problem for Rajasthan, right?
Exactly.
That was just one of the best knocks I've seen so far this tournament, right, Dill?
Exactly, Sheldon. I would say Sanju Samson would be the guy for them this year as well, because last time he had some impressive knocks, for the team, and this year again he made his intent very clear right from ball one. I mean, just smacked, Chawla and the other bowlers around, and just didn't let the game go away from Rajasthan, and he just put the game out of CSK's hand. But it was so nice to see Steve Smith back in the team, and the way he handled the bowlers, I would say on that kind of a wicket, I would say that was really impressive, because it's a small ground, right, Sheldon?
Yeah, very small. It looked like every time you just whack it, it's going out of the ground, didn't it? I mean, I thought Steven Smith's decision to open the batting was a fantastic move. I mean, without Joss Butler there, it probably had to be done. It was such a big move. And Smith just looked like he's been opening off his life, right?
Definitely, Sheldon. I would say that was a very good move, because you need to get the maximum out of the overs, and it will be interesting to see when Joss Butler comes back where he's going to bat, if he's going to continue opening the batting, or is he going to go down the order.
I think another thing that shocked me was Archer sitting at the end in that last over. I didn't think Archer could hit like that the way he was playing.
Yeah, and that I felt was a final nail in the coffin for CSK that match, because you're one of your best bowlers going for that many runs in the over 4 sixes, you're getting smacked. And I thought the extras were a lot also, Sheldon.
Like for a Dhoni team, it was so odd to see that, because usually they're very disciplined.
Yeah.
Chennai as a side are usually a very disciplined side, but they were just all over the place, right? In terms of bowling that day.
But then again, bizarre tactics from Dhoni, as he kept himself there for the last and just goes in the last over. But he's Dhoni. He always does something unthinkable. But in the end, they lost by a very close margin. Like, moving on to the next game, it was a clash of KKR versus the Mumbai Indians, and we expected a lot from Dre Russ, but I would say that Rohit Sharma was batting on another league altogether that night.
Yeah, crazy. What a knock that was from Rohit. I mean, Mumbai's first win in the UAE as well, right?
Exactly.
It took them 6-7 games.
But then again, how often does Rohit Sharma does this? Like, leading from the front, I would say. And some of the shots which he played where, they keep saying like the boundaries are a little big. It was like going way past into the stands.
I think another thing that I really loved to see in that game was Jasprit Bumrah. He got some critics out the first game. I felt that was very harsh. Jasprit Bumrah for me is still the best white ball bowler in the world. The way he got Andre Russell out, that was such a big moment. He got Morgan out, I think, as well. Bumrah really showed his class that day.
But the big worry for KKR would be like the most expensive buy of the IPL, getting smacked all over for runs. Sheldon, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Pat Cummins, like he just looked like he just kept getting hit. I didn't understand Cummins keep going line and length though. Line and length. Yeah. It was not working on that pitch. He needs to mix it up a bit. And again, you worry about Pat Cummins in limited overs, because in Test he's a fantastic bowler. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But in ODIs and T20s, you just think, does he have enough variation?
Given the fact that you still played in England, but those pitches are different. The weather was very different. You're trying to cope here with 40 degrees, of heat here, and it's humid out here as well. So to hold the ball, trying to get it right in the first game, we still excuse that, but I would still rate Pat Cummins, high, and expecting him to come back, in the next game, Sheldon.
I think it was just a one-off for him. I think he's a class bowler, and he should come back like a champion next game.
Moving on to the next game, Sheldon, what I would call a pack of cards, how they fall down. I felt RCB.
Cut.
RCB versus Kings 11. It was more like RCB versus KL Rahul, I would say. Just didn't seem RCB's day. Poor batting, and it was just the KL Rahul show.
Yeah, KL Rahul hitting the highest score by an Indian in the IPL.
Yeah.
And also the quickest Indian to 2,000 runs, I think, IPL runs.
2,000 IPL runs.
I think that's what I saw yesterday. I mean, Rahul is a class player, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Like, he's so dangerous. He looks like he does it with ease, right? When he plays, KL Rahul.
So much
so
time,
pleasing on the eye.
Very nice to see him taking the responsibility also, Sheldon. He has to captain the team, and he has to bat as well because he's the opener. And didn't he make RCB pay? And made them pay really, really badly. 42 runs of just 9 balls after being dropped twice by that to Virat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that play, in fact, won them the game. I didn't see RCB chasing that at any point, 200 and Virat. I mean, it was just one of those days, right?
2 catches in 1 over. That was your set batsman in, who can get dangerous, was just insane. And he, like we said earlier, KL Rahul made them pay. But then again, RCB would want to forget about that game and just concentrate now on the next game, which is going to be against Mumbai Indians, I think. And hopefully they do well in that. And it's going to be an interesting match. Rohit versus Virat. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, the big question, right? Rohit versus Kohli. I mean, should he be captain, right? Till I'd asked you before, and that question just keeps being asked as well with Kohli struggling a bit also.
We leave it to the experts. We are not going to waste time on that. Yeah, they both are great batsmen in their own right, and we'll just leave it there. All right, moving on to the next game. To end the first week, it was the Delhi Capitals versus CSK once again, and Delhi Capitals proving to be a very, very big team, Sheldon.
Yeah, Delhi, as I said before, just surprising us this week. Them beating CSK, that's such a big win for Delhi, right?
Yeah.
Beating CSK is a big side. I mean, Delhi, a team who never won the IPL, beating one of the premier teams of the IPL in CSK. It was just fantastic to see, right?
At no point did CSK look like they were going to win the match when they were chasing the score. You win the toss, and we've seen captains batting first here. CSK really have some work to do. Dhoni really has to work on the team a bit now, and Delhi is really looking like a big team.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if this is a problem for CSK, but it just seems when you put runs on the board, a big score against CSK, and they just look like they don't know what to do, They start too slow, and then they don't. Dhoni doesn't seem, to know which position to come into, I think. He comes in too late, I feel.
Yes.
Dhoni, with all his experience, should be batting in the top 4, I feel, in the CSK side.
Definitely. Yes, I would say. And especially when you don't have Raina in your team. You would expect someone like Dhoni to come in initially, take his time, and then go for it, towards the end. But like we said, we've seen it now in the first 2 games with the CSK, and it happened again in this game as well, in the third game. Dhoni just waiting for the last and trying to go for it, which only he can explain why he's doing that.
And I don't know about Murli Vijay opening. I've never thought he could open in this T20 side, right? I mean, okay, he's probably done well in the past, but I just don't understand Murli Vijay at this team.
Because Murli Vijay has been one of the top batsmen for them. Yes, he went to Kings 11 Punjab, and he did well there also when he was opening. But then he came back. He's done well for CSK when he was always opening. Now what we're going to see, Sheldon, I think is 160, 170 scores are going to be very big scores.
Yeah, for sure. Chasing anything looks tough, in fact. I think apart from the first game, right, no one's been able to chase. It's just been that kind of tournament. And I get so surprised every time the captain wins the toss and, elects to chase.
You win the toss 9 out of 10 times, you need to bat first, I would say. So guys, that's it from us from here. That was the first week of the IPL for you all. Just a quick update on all the games which has happened so far. And I hope you found the first week really exciting as much as we did. There were some really interesting matches there, and some not so interesting matches, probably one-sided, I would say. Do stay tuned to our page and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow us on our Instagram handle. It's at boundary_line_podcast. Leave your comments and let us know what you think. So that's it from us, guys. Stay safe, take care, and do stay tuned for more updates from Boundary Line Podcast.